So, Eddie Howe had a press conference yesterday, the perfect opportunity to rubbish and distance himself from the England manager's job. And he did. Sort of. Hello, team. Welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. As always, like this video, subscribe if you haven't done already, and check out our membership options just starting at 99 pence per month. Now, the Eddie Howe press conference yesterday, following on from club-based interviews with Darren Eales and, of course, Paul Mitchell. The Eales and Mitchell interviews both really positive. The Mitchell one in particular, really, really impressive. Just goes to show why he's a step up from Dan Ashworth. He's almost like Dan Ashworth without the little man syndrome ego. Yeah, really impressive. And obviously yesterday was the turn of the boss, Eddie Howe. And it was an odd one. I mean, as we know from Howe press conferences of the past, he'd be a very good poker player. You can't really gauge how he's feeling or whether or not what he's saying is true, but that's normally around player selection and whatnot. So obviously the press pack, we're going to go straight in with the big question at the moment, which is the vacant England manager's position. A lot of it was what you would expect from Howe. Didn't really say, no, not for me, not interested, in so many words. He did, however, go on to say that he's happy at Newcastle. He loves the players, he loves his squad. The fans obviously play a huge part of that. And he wants to win us a trophy, which is what you want to hear. Everyone seems to be gearing up for this season, and it's going to be a big one. He's probably a victim of circumstance, really, not a victim of his own success, because not getting Europe has probably hurt him, really, through no fault of his own. As I say, a victim of circumstance, being the only team in the last 10 years to finish 7th and not qualify for Europe. Eales was quite open in the fact, saying that European qualification is a must, and I think that's fair. I mean, Howe would have done that in a normal year despite everything. But Howe, I think he's needing to feel the love a bit. The kind of contradictory nature in some of the answers to his questioning yesterday. Because on the one hand, as I say, loves the fans, loves the club, wants to win us a trophy, and so on, and was then contradicted, well, things have to be right for me, which is the first time, really, he's ever spoken like that. Almost giving off sort of Rafa Benitez vibes when he's not getting his own way. I think more than anything, Eddie just needs to feel a bit the love a little bit. He's lost Amanda and Murdad, who are obviously big allies of his. The day-to-day running of things, they were obviously very close. It's been a messy summer so far, particularly with transfers. You know, hearing him speak, it made my mind wander. I'm not saying this is true. I'm just sharing my thought pattern with you. You know, was he kept in the loop about just how dire the PSR situation was? Was the Vlachodimos transfer done with his say-so? Did he have any input on that? I'm guessing he didn't. I think that was a case of, well, Forest have done us a favour almost in Elliot Anderson. Obviously, it's not a favour because we've lost one of our bright young players, which of course Howe didn't. Is a person Anderson is a person Howe didn't want to lose. Howe didn't really want to lose anyone, but this is the harsh reality of PSR. And the Vlachodimos incoming was to kind of, you know, with as many clubs are doing, you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. The fee is still a bit of is all a bit hush-hush at the minute. The North East Journo's saying that the fee was minimal. You've got Forest Journo saying it's in excess of 10-15 million, which is more than what we paid for Pope. So I don't know. Who do you believe on that? You would like to think it's less than 10 million. So Howe, who maybe wanted to get a Trafford, a Mamadashvili, that'll be put to the back burner now. That's not going to happen. So is Howe feeling a bit annoyed about that? Obviously, we haven't seen. Yes, we've signed Lloyd Kelly, and Lewis Hall's been made permanent, but we haven't seen our big, like, kind of marquee signing of the summer yet. Is there frustration on that? Did Howe have targets in mind, which maybe Mitchell doesn't? They're working each other out at the moment. Howe did say that Mitchell was a fantastic appointment, because there's no doubt about it, he is. James Bunce as well, very, very good appointment. Said on a podcast recently that it's his job to be kind of like a married couple relationship with the manager, because at the end of the day, he's the one that gets sacked. It's not Bunce and Mitchell. It's Howe that will get sacked if results aren't going the club's way. So he will often tell him things that the manager maybe doesn't want to hear, but it's a necessity, which is a great attitude to have, I think, from Bunce, and I think Howe will respect that a lot. Howe's very pragmatic. He's not the most. He doesn't let emotion get the better of him a lot, does Eddie? And that's a positive trait for a manager. So not to say he doesn't show emotion, because he does every now and again. We've seen that plenty, but he's quite straight down the line with his thinking, very logical. So I think it's still early days. They're still working each other out, and time will tell. But I think Eddie Howe's just kind of, it's got him feeling a little bit unsettled, which is fine. That's human nature, because at the end of the day, a lot has changed this summer. It's been a crazy summer when you think about it, even without signing anyone of note. It's. I think he just needs to feel the love, and I think when we get back to St James's Park and the Eddie Howe's black and white army rings round, he'll feel that and feel a lot more comfortable, hopefully. When it comes to England, though, if they do inquire, if the FA do inquire, I think Howe will have the conversation with him, with the FA. I think he will. I think he'll talk to him. What happens from there? He's then got a decision to make. My gut instinct is that he will stay. But you can't blame him for speaking to the FA. Look, my personal opinion is, and I've said it before, the job will be there for him later down the line in his career. However, the late, great Sir Bobby Robson famously said, the England job only comes around for you once in a lifetime. So is this Howe's once in a lifetime chance to be England head coach? Like I said in a video last week, if he does go, it's not the end of the world for Newcastle. It would be a shame, but it's not the end of the world. And he'd be fantastic for England. However, my gut instinct is that he will stay. That's my interpretation of Howe's interview anyway. Let me know your thoughts. It wasn't as clear-cut as I was expecting from him, but the message was still there. It was just muddied a little bit. Body language was kind of like that as well, with his interview with Razor on BBC Newcastle as well. So there are a couple of alarm bells there, but look, as I said, my gut instinct is that he will stay. And my only worry is he turns down England, which is obviously a fantastic opportunity for him. And if by Christmas or whatever we're 8th, 9th, 10th, what do the board do? Europe's the option. Not the option, sorry. Europe is the goal for the season. It's the aim. Kind of non-negotiable in many ways, the way Darren Eales set his stall out and was very open about that. And again, that target is fair enough. But then if Howe's kind of mid-table, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th by Christmas, I worry for him. But anyway, that's just my opinion. That's not in the know garbage. Like Todibo, I saw going round on Twitter, just absolute guff. He's going to Juventus, for crying out loud. But yeah, there you go. Let me know your opinions. Get your comments in below. And yeah, fingers crossed, Eddie is still Newcastle United manager come that first day of the season. against Southampton. Like and subscribe and stay tuned to Newcastle Fans TV.